Hello everyone and welcome to Lisa's Creative Home. Today's DIY is going to be two parts. Part one is going to be a pair of witch boots. For this DIY, we're going to use a pair of the tinsel boots from Dollar Tree, a black pair of socks, black duct tape, black felt, some twine, and some stickers. I'm going to start by wrapping the tinsel boots in black duct tape. This is a little easier than trying to remove the tinsel. Now that we have the boot completely wrapped in duct tape, I'm going to take a sock, and you can see that I drawed a line across the tip of the toe. I'm going to cut that part off, and then I'm going to cut straight up toward the heel. Once I get that cut, I'm going to slide it over the boot. Now I'm just going to start gluing the sock to the boot. I'm going to start with the top. I'm going to put glue on the inside top of the boot and fold over the sock and glue it into place. Once the glue is set on the top of the boot, I'm going to pull the sock down till it's snug, and then I'm going to fold up the bottom of the sock and start gluing underneath, and I'm going to press down the sock, and I'm just going to work my way down until I get to the toe of the boot. Once the toe of the boot is glued into place, I'm going to start pulling down the sides. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to raise up the material, glue underneath, pull it down into place, and I'm just going to keep doing that until I work my way all the way to the bottom of the boot. Now that I'm at the bottom of the boot, there's going to be some extra fabric. You just need to trim that off and just keep gluing and pulling until it's snug around the bottom of the boot. It's not going to look real pretty at this point, but we're going to fix that here in a little bit. Now we're going to work on the bottom of the boot, and this is going to make it look a little better. I took black foam board and I made a pattern by tracing out the front part of the boot and the heel. Now I'm just going to use my pattern. I'm going to trace around it, and then I'm going to cut out both pieces with an X-Acto knife and a pair of scissors. I'm also going to be cutting out a piece of black felt. I need a piece about 1 inch wide and 3 inches long. Now I'm going to work on covering the outside of the heel. I'm going to take the piece of felt that I cut out. I'm going to start on the inside of the heel and I'm going to hot glue it into place. There is going to be a little extra felt once you get it glued on the heel. I'm just going to trim that off and then glue down the edges. Now we're going to attach the little foam board pieces. We're going to first work on the heel. I'm going to bend them a little bit so it's not quite so stiff and it wraps around the heel a little better. And I'm just going to hot glue them into place. And I'm just going to do the same thing with the front part of the boot and the foam board. Now to clean up the edges a little bit around the front and toe of the boot, I'm going to take this wired twine and I'm just going to glue it around the foam board. Now I'm going to give the boot a coat of black chalk paint to cover up any imperfections. Now that the paint is dry, we're going to work on the laces. I'm just comparing it to the other boot so I can make sure that they're even and that they're going to match. I'm going to start by folding my twine in half so I have 2 equal sides. I'm going to glue the middle of the twine to the center of the front of the boot. Now I'm just going to add little dots of glue and attach the twine. And as I go up the boot, I'm going to cross, add more dots, cross, until I get all the way to the top of the boot, and then I'm going to tie a bow. Now I'm going to take these stickers. There's little small, looks like almost little metal dots. I'm going to take those and hot glue them to each side right before the lace cross all the way up the boot. Now I'm going to add some spooky spiders to the little boot. I found these little spider rings at Dollar General. I'm just going to cut off the ring part and hot glue them to the laces on both sides. And here is the little witch's boots all finished. I think they're so cute. Part 2 of the DIY is going to be a witch's hat to go with the boots. To make the witch hat, we're going to start with a wood round. I believe I got this one at Walmart. We're going to start by just giving it a coat of black chalk paint. Now I'm going to work on the top of the hat. I used a foam cone, but you could use cardboard and make your own cone. I wanted the tip of the hat to be a little longer and kind of curved down, so I just started by wrapping black duct tape on the end to extend out the tip of the hat. I wanted to cover the rest of the cone with black duct tape because we're going to be using another black sock to cover the cone, and I wanted something a little better to glue it to besides the foam. Now I'm just going to cut off the bottom of the sock where the bottom of the heel and the bottom of the foot is, kind of to an angle to a point. I'm going to slide it over the cone, and then I'm just going to fit it around the tip, and I'm just going to start hot gluing it into place. Now that the cone is completely covered, I'm going to set that aside, and now we're going to work on the brim of the hat. When I was coming up with this design, I was going to use some kind of fabric or something to cover the brim, but then I found these leaves and they were different sizes. And I thought if I could take and hot glue the leaves around the brim of the hat and kind of layer them up onto the point of it, it would just give it a different look. So I started by painting the leaves with black chalk paint. Once they were dry, I took the hard plastic part off the back of the leaves that made the leaves stiff. Now I'm just going to take the larger leaves and I'm placing them around the wood round, and I'm just going to hot glue them into place. Next, I'm going to glue the foam cone, the top part of the hat, in the middle of the wood round. Now we're going to work on the small leaves. When I glue the small leaves on, I'm going to add the hot glue to the bottom, and I'm going to have them coming up a little bit on the sides of the cone. I felt like by doing this, it kind of made the hat come together as one piece. Next, I'm just going to take some black chalk paint and I'm just going to touch up the top of the hat to cover up any imperfections. And then I decided that it looked a little too square, so I'm just going to cut some of these points off, some of the larger leaves, to give it just somewhat of a rounder look. I wanted the tip of the hat to bend over to the side a little bit, so I'm just going to bend it and put a little hot glue there and hold it into place until it dries. Now I'm going to make a base for the boots and the hat to set on. I'm just going to take one of the shadow box houses from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to use the back side of it as the top of my base. And I'm just going to use one of the purple glue sticks to attach the scrapbooking paper to the top. I had a little bit of an edge from the scrapbooking paper, so I'm just going to take my finger sander and go around the edges. I'm going to take some orange tulle and create a ribbon to go around the hat. I just cut a piece off about 6 inches wide, and then I folded it in half, gathered it, and then folded it in half again, and then I wrapped it around the hat, and then where it folded, I took the ends and fed it through, and I pulled it tight and then tied a knot. Now I'm going to hot glue the boots to the base. I also added a little glue to the inside of the one boot, and then I stuck the top of the boots together so it would be a little more sturdy, because I'm going to put the hat on top of the boots. Here I'm just gluing down a little bit of the leaves forward so it kind of hangs down, and I'm also going to trim the tulle to the length that I wanted. Next, I'm going to glue a wood round between the toe of the boots, and I'm going to add a little foam pumpkin. Now I'm going to take one of these spiders from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to take some white twine, and I'm going to have the little spider hanging off the tip of the hat. Next, I'm going to hot glue the hat on top of the boots. Now I'm going to take the little white spiders that's hanging off the laces, and I'm just going to glue them to the side of the boots. Now I'm just going to add some fairy lights. And I'm also going to add a little Spanish moss around the pumpkin. I really love how this DIY turned out. If you made it this far in the video, leave me a pumpkin emoji in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you on the next one.